Welcome in, welcome back, welcome to Stream-of-Unconsciousness, where the subject's made up and the words don't matter. Today's episode, I have carried out on my threat, and I have purchased another HIYA Toys Exquisite Mini Star Trek action figure. Just to continue, as I said, other than the paint apps, I think I'm really kind of enjoying what they've done with these. So I thought, next to the line, why not, as we purchased the Chris Pine Captain Kirk last time, which other than the paint apps, I think actually works out pretty well. I think the portrait is there. I thought, let's go with the next in line, which would be Mr. Spock. Now, the real problem with this Mr. Spock, other than, severe focus issues with that bubble, is this looks nothing like Leonard Nimoy. I'm just kidding. I know this is supposed to be Zachary Quinto. Looking through the bubble, I think the portrait is there, but we'll find out in a minute. Again, there's some paint apps questions and issues. Interestingly, they did not change the card art. It is still the Chris Pine image, although it does have the Spock label for the figure. You can see him in his various accoutrements in his plastic prison there. Extra hands, the communicator, the phaser. Beneath him, where you can't really see, is a little well with a plastic cover that contains the belt. And his base. On the back, you have pictures of the mock-ups that they used to sell at toy fairs, showing people what was coming. Again, the paint apps on these, I think, are much better than the final product. The final product is still really pale and toy-esque, which works a little bit better for this character than it did for Chris Pine, I believe. But still, so we will begin our incision here, as it was a great noise, as if thousands of collectors suddenly cried out in terror and suddenly clicked away from YouTube. So, and you see the card was foxed a little bit anyway in shipping, so. And there are two trays. The upper tray containing the figure itself with the phaser, the communicator, and the replacement hands. It also has a nice protective cover on the front of it. The bottom tray containing the base, the weapons or equipment belt, and then these are the connectors that will attach two bases together, so you can have sort of a strung out display of figures if that's what you really want to do for your display. And I will demonstrate that in a bit. So, which will pop that off, place that to one side, and then people drop the phaser, because that's always what you do first. These are a little looser in their bays than the Chris Pine one was. So we will pick up all of our scattered toys and we'll place them back here on the mat. And then we will take a look. As always, as with every single Spock figure ever created, one hand is permanently in the Vulcan salute, because how else would we know it was Spock? This is, as you can see, this is what I was talking about on the Captain Kirk figure. As you look at the arms, initially I thought that gap was problematic, but if you just push the tunic back down, it's fine. Again, the tunic is a soft material, softer material that's over a lot of the internal articulation. So, but it's a permanent hand in the Vulcan salute. Again, the boots twist a little bit at the top of the boot. Their double jointed knees. You have foot rockers that, again, I'm not the most excited about the foot rockers, again, because of the way they're attached. They appear to be attached towards the front with a smaller piece of plastic here. Not really. That doesn't feel as sturdy to me. But you've got the arms that will both raise and lower to the side and also twist in the socket. The elbows that will twist and bend. The hands will twist. And they do also, as a consequence of the way they're attached, they do also flex a little bit. The head turns, obviously. There's again, the way it's attached is a tiny bit of movement forward and back and left and right. If you look at that, especially from the side, again, the portrait for Zachary Quinto is pretty good. It's the paint apps that let it down. Although for this one, because of the difference in skin tones, I think the paint apps work a tiny bit better. But still. So you've got a left, put that down. You've got a left fist replacement, a right phaser holding hand replacement. These holes actually look a little bit larger than the ones that initially came with the Captain Kirk figure. So in essence, basically you take these and pop them off. And inside you have a tunic colored peg with a knob on the end of it. Let's see here. I'm going to have to drill these out before I do a switcheroo. As you can see, the one that was attached is already slightly larger than the replacement, which might make it slightly more difficult to replace, which is why I drilled out Kirk's phaser hand upon replacing the first time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that later, because I'm going to take a little drill. I'm going to drill that out just slightly, because what I don't want to do is break that peg. It feels pretty sturdy. It's part of the arm, so it's not like an extra piece in there. But my preference would be not to break that peg while I'm trying to replace the hands. His head is a little bit off kilter. Oh, there we go. Okay, so the tunic is a much darker blue than a lot of the versions, but that is in line more or less with the films. The 2009 films, maybe a little bit dark, but it's not bad looking. So I've seen from Kirk, it's the same phaser and the same communicator closed. The teeny tiny Delta shield on it. And as I said previously, then you have the second tray, the cover for the equipment belt. Now, again, this is one of the things I'm going to have to probably do off camera. But as you can see, it is held together with a clasp. Basically, the one side just goes through as a little lip on the end of the tab there that slides through the slot in the other belt, which it'll be easy enough to get it undone off the figure, but once you get them on, they fit really tight. So it'll be kind of a pain to get in, but the equipment also fits in pretty tightly. I say as I can't get it in there at all. There we go. So you got that. Something I did not demonstrate with the Kirk figure is the phaser going into the holster, because I already had it in his hand. but that fits there pretty nicely, very snugly. That's not going anywhere. And then that will obviously go around the waist, the torso there. Now, as I said, they come with their own bases, which is nice. So I've got that going for me, which is nice. Which are much more firmly into the plastic than the figure itself was, which is very odd. So then you got the white base with the Delta shield. It's got a peg, a single peg. You can sort of put it however you want in there. It's got the nutrition information on the back. And the interesting thing about these, and I didn't demonstrate this to begin with the other one because I only had the one figure at the time, but they do, well, you guys are in there tight this morning. Get off. There we go. They do come with these little hard plastic H's for HIYA Toys, so you can, hand them out to people so they know what you're talking about. No, I'm just kidding. They are pieces that attach to the base itself. So you can see this little slot here. You just clip those in. And these fit super tight at the moment. I'm sure with repeated usage, they probably don't fit as well. That one is not as level as the other one, but there we go. So, if we were to take, I'm going to pop him off here for this. Captain Pike's base and Spock's base. Line those up. There we go. And with a little effort, again, these fit quite tightly. But once you have completed pushing that in, then the bases connect side by side. So you can then take your collectible figures. The peg hole is in the back of the boot on the heel. Take those. You'd be surprised how difficult this is to do through a camera sometimes, but I want you all to appreciate I am doing all my own stunts. So, his knees are, so there you have it. You can display them together in a line. I'm not recommending necessarily that you do that. I'm just saying it can be done. Take him back off of there for a moment. Take a look at that knee, which appears to be knock-kneed would be the opposite of what I'm actually trying to say here. So, but his right knee appears to be slightly bent outwards, which, you guys know, action figure collecting, they're not always all perfect. This happens. So there you see the movement of the boot. We can bend the knee has double, so it's a double knee joint for posability. And the hip moves so you can do Vulcan ballet. Again, the hip flexes, it flexes in and out, it turns and moves forward and back. Got a little bit of movement, twisting here. There are no thigh cuts, but honestly, for me, that's enough. That's enough articulation. I don't need this super articulated stuff. And he does slightly bend at the waist, just like Kirk, and twist. But yeah, not too bad. His tendency to lean to his left there, and I don't know why, but again, that's the vagaries of modern toy collecting. So there you go. HIYA Toys, Star Trek from the 2009 movies, Mr. Spock, Zachary Quinto. Decent portrait. So paint apps again. I don't know why it's a little bit less on him. They've still got the rosy cheeks thing going on, which I'm not sure why they did that. But other than that, you know, pretty well done figure, especially in this scale. Again, these are about 4 inches tall, 1/18th scale. A little bit larger than both of the Fisher-Price ones I made, but also larger than the original, I think they were Hasbro ones that came out for the first movie, and the Super 7 Star Trek figures came out, which this is not one of, but this is my modified version of one. So it's about the same size. You see there, a little bit shorter. There you go. Thanks as always for taking the time to watch. Feel free to like and comment, especially comment. I love the engagement. And we will catch you next time.